All right. A new behemoth is coming to town. MicroStrategy has a new rival. The news is out. What's going on with this new company that's going to buy 42,000 Bitcoin? It will be the largest holder of Bitcoin next to Strategy, then Tesla, then this new company that is on the rise. The deal just got announced today, and the merger is happening. And this deal will fund with 42,000 in Bitcoin at some future date. So this is proof of what I'm about to talk to you in today's show, that Strategy is leading the road with the new playbook, and other companies are following. Other corporations are getting smart, and they're joining the path, and they're following the playbook. So today, not financial advice, not tax advice, not legal advice, not investment advice, but we're going to jump in, and I'm going to tell you what's going on because it's really exciting news. Also, I'm going to talk to you a little today about Strategy, and also there's some leverage plays that I've been talking about, and people have had questions about them. Not giving financial advice on this at all. Actually going to talk to you about the warning and the risk associated with some of these other leverage plays of MicroStrategy, which we all call Strategy now, and share with you what that is. So stay tuned. So MicroStrategy, there is a new Bitcoin beast in town. Now we know Strategy's the original beast. It will be the major beast moving forward, but we got some cool news. Strategy, as you all know and have been following, has the big Bitcoin treasure chest and has 538,000 plus of Bitcoin in there. It's leading the way of crypto adoption. But now there's a new player. They've entered the game, and they're entering huge. So what is this player called? It's called 21, and it's launching with over 42,000 Bitcoin, making it the third largest corporate Bitcoin holder in the world, right behind Strategy and also Tesla. Now, unlike Strategy, which built its Bitcoin stack over the years by selling shares, we know this, that they issue shares in the marketplace. When they issue shares, they collect money from people like us, and they go buy more Bitcoin. And the reason this strategy works is as they're issuing shares, they're issuing them at a premium, which means the Bitcoin value they have sitting in their vault is X, and then they're selling the stock or the shares for X plus a premium, X plus more. So they take that premium, that excess cash that they have, and then they roll it back into Bitcoin, and they buy more Bitcoin, and it's like getting free Bitcoin. Brilliant strategy, right? Now everybody's catching on, like this new behemoth that's entering our space now, right? We know the other way they've also done it is converting convertible debt. And they take convertible debt, they borrow money, and they buy Bitcoin. So it's no new news on Strategy, but this new company is news because they're starting from day one as a Bitcoin native company. And they're backed by Tether, they're backed by Bitfinex, and also some of these people are all tied to Trump's inner circle, which is interesting, right? So this is a different kind of Bitcoin move that we're seeing. And we're seeing that Wall Street is watching. They're starting to catch on. If you watched my video the other day, I was talking about the fact that what's happening on Wall Street is we got traditional finance, we got Bitcoin, and the new crypto world, and there's merging of the two, and Strategy led the way in this, and now other companies are following suit. All right, so let's jump in. If you miss any of the updates, in about 2 minutes a day, I'll be updating you on Bitcoin and Strategy through a new platform I have called MGame. You can subscribe to that down below. You can subscribe to this channel if you're not subscribed. But also, this is a new platform that I built. It'll be released in a couple weeks. And so you'll get AI updates from a version of me that's an AI that will update you on the news of what's happening with Strategy, what's happening with Bitcoin, and also other stocks and investments, not financial advice, so that you can get access to news on the go and in a couple minutes and quick sound bites. All right. So if you want that, there's a link down below. You can click, just enter the early access list. And when it comes out, I'll get you on. Okay. So 21 is about to become the third biggest Bitcoin holder. Now, they haven't made the acquisition of the 42,000 Bitcoin yet, but they're going to do that. It's going to be worth billions, as we know. So Strategy, Tesla, and then 21 joins the club, and these will be the largest Bitcoin holders in the marketplace. So let's chat a little bit about what's going on and who's behind this. So you've got a company behind this called Cantor Equity Partners. And that's who 21 is going public through. And Cantor is run by a guy by the name of Brandon Lutnick. And his father worked as Trump's as President Trump's commerce secretary. Right. So there's a loop here. There's a relation here. There's ties here. This is good news for all of us Bitcoin and strategy people. Why? Because we know that Trump is bullish on Bitcoin. And we know the strategic Bitcoin reserve a while ago that's now like distant news is still on the forefront of something that's happening. And so now the inner circle in Trump's space is getting involved to make a move like this. So Trump, as we know, has been talking about Bitcoin a lot. And it's been mentioned quite a bit in the news over the last several months. So people are actually noticing. Now, who's involved in this whole deal with 21? If you're just joining us, there's going to be an acquisition of 42,000 Bitcoin by a new kind of company, similar to a strategy, but a little bit different. I'm going to tell you how they're different. But it is corporate Bitcoin adoption. So this is really good for those of us who have been bullish on strategy because more and more people are following the playbook. So Tether is involved in this project. Tether is the stable coin giant that we all hear about. We've been hearing a big talk about stable coins. The administration is bullish on this, Trump's administration. And so we're going to see lots of moves in this area as well. But we've got Tether involved, and we also have Bitfinex, which is a major crypto exchange. And together, apparently, they, as a group, are putting in 31,500 Bitcoin. So, and then SoftBank is also getting involved, and SoftBank is one of the world's biggest investment firms. So they're in the game too, and they're buying a big chunk of this whole deal. So you got some major freaking players in the game right now, and this is not small news. This is big news. So it's real capital, real Bitcoin, real power coming to the table, which is great for the Bitcoin space, which is great for the strategy space, which is great for corporate adoption, which to me in the future, not financial advice, not future predictions, but for me, this is only good news for strategy going up and up and up and up. All right. And as we know today, strategy closed around 350 in the traditional hours of the market. And right now, after hours, I think it's sitting at 353. Right. If you're interested to hear a little bit about MSTU, which is a 2x leverage on strategy, I'll talk about that at the end here. However, it's not financial advice or tax advice or legal advice at all. It's a very risky thing. I'm just going to talk about the risks of it. Okay. So 21, what do they plan to do? This company that is going to buy 42,000 Bitcoin. Number one, there's 4 things they plan to do. First thing is use Bitcoin to make money for investors. Simple. Use Bitcoin to make money for investors. Number 2, help more companies and even countries use Bitcoin. So they're on an initiative to help other companies and countries use Bitcoin. This is great. They're spreading the word. It's like a mini sailor in the game coming to spread the word. This is good news. Launching media to spread Bitcoin adoption. So they're going to be spreading news through their different media channels and building financial tools and services for Bitcoin users. So this is a Bitcoin company. This is a corporate company. This is big news. This is not a small thing. Of course, there's some things that have to take place before this actually gets executed in terms of acquiring the 42,000 Bitcoin. But this announcement just came released today. So they want to drive the Bitcoin economy forward. Now, there's a guy by the name of Jack Mallers. You've probably heard of him before. He's at the helm of this as well. No secret that he's been a Bitcoin bull, heavy on Bitcoin because he found a company called Strike, and he's the founder of that company. It's a Bitcoin payments app. He's also one of the ones that was responsible for pushing El Salvador to adopt Bitcoin as legal money. So we've got some players in this. We have some very bullish Bitcoin people that have been involved in this space for a while. We have new players coming into the space, and we got some ballers getting in the game on this today, which is great, and it's very, very good news. So he's one of the biggest Bitcoin voices today, Jack Mallers, and he's running 21 with a full war chest. He's on a global mission to rock this thing out, and it's a big deal. So in summary, what's happening? We have a brand new company with 42,000 Bitcoin. It's about to happen. They haven't funded it yet, but this announcement came out today. It's going to be backed by Tether, stablecoin giant. It's going to be backed by Bitfinex, which is a huge crypto exchange, and it's going to be backed by SoftBank, which is a big investment firm, and it's going to be backed by Jack Mallers, who runs Strike, which is a payment app. So this is huge. These are people from Trump's inner circle. So the circle is growing wider and wider and wider. We also know that Saylor is part of the inner circle as well, because he's been giving guidance to some of these groups as they've created the digital asset groups that are coming and making decisions on what's going to happen with how the U.S. does their strategic Bitcoin reserve and how the U.S. also acquires different strategic stockpiles, digital stockpiles. So it's pretty cool news what we see happening. It's exciting for us to watch this in the space. And for those of us who've been patient and waiting for a while for this to happen, for more and more players to come in, now we got a big one. So this is pretty cool, which is good news. So are you bullish in the chat box? Let me hear if you're bullish. Let me know if you're bullish. All right. So we've got MSTR. I'm sticking with my players. I'm not getting involved in anything new right now. If I were going to get involved in anything new, I would have to do the research on it. But right now, again, my personal investments are Strategy is my biggest holder. Bitcoin's my second. And then I have some Tesla. I have some derivatives of Tesla, right? So yeah, Remy's saying MSTR will only go up as more companies buy Bitcoin. Yep, Saylor's been begging everyone to follow what he says. It's true. Spike says very bullish now. We got Chris in the comments. I'm not buying anything new to answer that question. But yeah, this is what's happening right now. I said I was going to share with you a little bit about what's happening with some of these leverage plays here. So just to look at this, if we look at this is a 2x version. I'm going to put in MSTR right now so we can look at MSTR after hours. I love looking at the after hours game. I don't know if you guys check it out, but if you see Strategy after hours right now, it's sitting at 351. So I think it closed today at 350. So after hours, it's up. And if we look at Bitcoin right now and we look at the price, we're looking at 93,360. Strategy closed at 350. My brother just sent me some cool stuff. This is an announcement from Adam Livingston. He says the Fed just bent the knee to Bitcoin. This is a post on X. This isn't crypto adoption. This is financial exorcism. The Fed just withdrew guidance on banks dealing with Bitcoin. Translation: the high priest of fiat ran out of spells. Banks are now legally free to support Bitcoin, which is very cool. And then, of course, from the godfather of this strategy, we got Saylor. And Saylor says in his tweet on X, or his post on X, I should say, Saylor says, banks are now free to begin supporting Bitcoin. Pretty cool, right? So we got some big news in the marketplace. More and more things are happening. It's like the tracks are being laid for just more and more good news. I think you guys are seeing it. And we've been talking about this all along. And the tracks are being laid. And there's just more good news and more good news coming out. Now, we know there's uncertain and shaky times in the economy. If you watch some of my previous videos about tariffs, I went extensively into that, went extensively to what's happening in the bond market and how the bond market's kind of being manipulated right now. But all of this is leading eventually to lower interest rates. And I think the tracks and the game plan is being laid with this new news of this new company, 21, buying 42,000 Bitcoin. And I should say they're going to buy 42,000 Bitcoin. They'll be the third largest holder of Bitcoin in terms of corporate adoption. That's huge news. Saylor's big news that he just said, I'm going to share it one more time in case you missed it. But Saylor's big news, banks are now free to begin supporting Bitcoin. More big news. U.S. old news, strategic Bitcoin reserve. Companies adopting more and more the Bitcoin playbook, the strategy playbook, we should call it. So things are happening, and it's like we have this entirely new infrastructure that's being laid, and this entirely new infrastructure is being laid for corporate adoption and for adoption by countries around the world. So this is great news. As far as I'm concerned, this is extremely bullish news. And I think we have a very, very bright 2025 coming up, guys. There of course, is going to be some turbulence. The tariffs aren't over. The deals aren't done with China. There's lots of uncertainty in the economy. So I'm not going to pretend like it's smooth sailing. There's going to be bumps. But the beautiful, smooth ocean is ahead of us because all the beautiful tracks are being laid for us to just glide along here, and the infrastructure is being built. And so this is a very different time. You probably have seen the sentiment on YouTube. Lots of people are talking about the fact that the 4-year cycle is over, and is the 4-year cycle dead? And so if we look right now, we're going into May, and we haven't yet hit our run. So I think the cycle is quite different this time. And I think it's quite different because we're living in a different world and a different ballpark. And it's no longer, the old days where retail was pushing the ball or leading the charge. We've got corporate adoption. We've got institutional adoption now. We've got government adoption. We've got countries adoption. It's just a completely different world. So to predict what's going to happen in terms of, are we going to hit a normal bull run? And is it going to hit the cycles like happened last time? I don't think it's going to hit the normal cycles. I think it's just going to be a different experience. And I think we need to strap in and pay attention. And whatever you're going to do with your own decisions or your decisions on it, at some point I am going to take some profits on strategy. And then speaking of strategy, there was another thing that we were just talking about that I did not complete the cycle on. So the other thing we're talking about is strategies at 350.51. Now here's the danger, but also the joy of the leverage play. And I'm gonna put this in the chat box here. You have MSTU, which is a 2x leverage play of strategy. So when you look at strategy here, I just want you to look at the strategy price here at 351, right? Now, if you looked, and I can't trace this back to a T, but if you looked back like 2 months ago or so, right around there, maybe a month and a half, probably 2, strategy, I remember when I started putting some more money into it, it was around 340, 320, and moving back and forth in that range. And then we saw a big dump. And at the time, the strategy was around 340 and 350. And just look at strategy's price right now. I'll say more like 340 and 320. But look at strategy's price right now. It's 351. At the time that strategy was around 340-ish, this 2x leverage on strategy, which is called MSTU, this 2x leverage was trading in the 8s. All right. So this is the danger when people talk about like something like this MSTU, which is a 2x leverage on MicroStrategy. So the whole goal of it is when strategy goes up by 5%, this is supposed to go up by 10%. When strategy goes down by 5%, this is supposed to go down by 10%. And so what's interesting about this play is, oh my God, I didn't even share it with you guys. I'm so sorry. Here we go. Let me know if you see it now. Okay, so what's interesting about this play, I'm going to do it again to just show you the comparative price. So you've got strategy here, and strategy's price is 351 right now. We know that the all-time high after hours months and months back was about 540. Right, 540 is its all-time high. So we're off its all-time high. But a couple months ago, it was trading around 340, 320-ish range. Right, it's back and forth there before it tanked. All right, and so we know that strategy is like a 2x play on Bitcoin. Strategy 2x play on Bitcoin. So when Bitcoin goes up, and this is not like a daily thing, this is over a time period. So over a month, if Bitcoin goes up 5%, strategy will likely go up 10%. But now you have these different versions of strategy, which are 2x leverage plays on Bitcoin. So just do the math here. Bitcoin, you got Bitcoin, what does what it does. Then you have strategy being like a 2x leverage play on Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin goes up by 5%, strategy will likely go up by 10% over time. And then you have this additional stock that I'm going to show you called MSTU, which is a 2x leverage play on strategy, which essentially makes it a 4x leverage play on Bitcoin. Make sense? Now, the danger on these things, not financial advice, we're just doing a theoretical analysis on this right now. The danger on these things is that when you look at what this 2x leverage was a couple months ago, it was trading around 840, 860, 880 when strategy was around 340. So while strategy's recovered to its point right now, where it was a couple months ago, it tanked, right? It was around 340, 320-ish, tanked all the way down to like 230 something, and it's recovered now to 350. And while strategy's recovered to its original point of where it was a couple months ago, this 2x leverage MSTU has not yet recovered. And that's when you hear people talking about these are not long-term holds. The danger of something like MSTU is when you hold it, the stock erodes. So your money erodes in it because it goes down so much. Strategy goes down, it goes down 2x strategy. So for it to catch back up, it has to have more gasoline and firepower to shoot back up beyond its original point. So I bought strategy in early 2024. So my gains and profits are up significantly from when I bought strategy. I bought Bitcoin way, way before that, all right? Back in 2018, 2020, 2021, 2023. Well, my last purchase of Bitcoin was in 2023, okay? In November when it was at 30,000 of 2023. So now I look at all the plays that I made then, I'm way up. This is more of my own analysis, not financial advice, okay? I also bought some of this leverage play a while back. But the stuff that I bought recently on this leverage play, which I bought a couple months ago, I bought in at $8.60 or $8.80, $8.60, $8, and $7.40. And so not one of those purchases has recovered back to its original price yet. See that? So if I had bought into strategy at that same time, strategy fully recovered back to its original price point. And while strategy recovered, this one did not recover. And that's the danger of things like this, like MSTU, that you have to be careful on. Now, did I sell? No. Do I still have it? Yes. Am I strapping in for the rocket ride? Hell yeah. Okay. So I'm strapping in, man, because eventually, for me, not financial advice at all. I'm not recommending this to anybody. Me personally, I'm strapping in for a rocket ride for this puppy, for it to go up much, much higher. So when it goes down, it is a risk. Huge, right? And so we watch this sucker go down. If you guys were watching this, anybody else watching this like me? David's watching, Remy's there. I rode this thing down to $3.60. Was it 360 or 380, guys? 380? Yeah. It was down to like 380. But I held because I've watched this stock and I've watched strategy and I've watched this stock since I've been watching MSTU since back in October of 2024, maybe September 2024. Okay. And I've been watching how it moves. I also traded a little bit and I've been watching how strategy moves. And so for me, my position on where I think this is going to go is a lot higher than 720. And at its height, back in 2024, I believe it was, this thing went up to $30 at its height. So it's now $7.20. It went up to $30 at its height. And when it went up to $30, I don't even think we were in the bull run fully at that point. I don't think we've hit our peak in the cycle yet. Right? So, point is, this is just something to show because you hear people talked about. This is just educational. That's it. Not recommending anything to anybody. Just sharing like what is the risk of something like this. And then also with risk and volatility, you have upside potential. And that's what it is. So this puppy at its height, again, was at $30 at one point, which is a while back. And now it's at $7.20. So when I look at it now, do I think it could get back up to $30? And the answer to that question for me is yes. So there you have it. That's kind of the gist of how these things play out. So again, in summary, number one, David's like it could hit 60 this next cycle. Yeah, possible. So number one, when I look at Bitcoin, you have Bitcoin does what it does, right? Now, so it's like kind of like, what do you think that Bitcoin's going to get to? Let's just do a little analysis. This is just theory and games, not financial advice, okay? Theory and games, okay? So if we look at, you know what, this could be fun. Oh, shit, I don't have it. Otherwise, I draw it out for you guys. So if we look at this, you just draw it down, take out a pen and piece of paper, and you go, you know, Bitcoin, let's say Bitcoin's at, it's at 93,000 right now, right? Okay. And you think, what do you think Bitcoin's going to go do? Put some predictions in there. Who's got a prediction of what you think Bitcoin's going to hit in this cycle? Just throw it out there. We're just playing a game. It's not financial advice to anybody. Play a game. Put it in the chat box. What do you think Bitcoin's going to hit? Just let's make up a number. Let's just say Bitcoin goes to 140. Okay. Remy says 200, 165. So let's just take 150 then. Okay. I'll raise it. Say it goes to 150. So if it goes to 150, that's what from here? That percentage is what? 50, 55? Is that 60%? That's probably about 60% from where we are right now. So if it goes to 150, that's a 60% gain. Everybody tracking? Just write it down. So if Bitcoin goes up to 150, it's about a 60% gain from where it's at right now. Okay? So that's 60%. We know MSTR will typically move, and I would be shocked if MSTR didn't move at a 2x to Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin goes to 150, that means MSTR would move from its price right now. Not financial advice. This is just theory. All right. That means MSTR could move from its current price of 350. It would do a double. So that means that no, it would not do a double. It would do 120%. So 100%, 20% at 350 right now. We would go to 700, and then another 20% from that, we would be at about 770, close to 800. So let's just call it 770 to be conservative. So that means we would have MSTR at 770. So if Bitcoin goes to 150, MSTR could go to 770. Now, the potential for MSTR, right? The potential for MSTR, if it goes to 770, that's when it's about, trading at doing about a 2x to Bitcoin. We've seen it in the past when it really starts to run, do a 2.5, even 3x to Bitcoin. So if you look at a 2.5x to Bitcoin, that's when you start to see MSTR getting in the $900 range. You see? Everybody tracking this? So that's when you can look at it and be like, okay, at that point, if it does about a 2.5x to Bitcoin, you're then looking at MSTR potentially hitting a $900 range. Now, what if Bitcoin goes to 200,000? Okay, so if Bitcoin does a double, then what's possible with MSTR? Okay, MSTR could do a 4x. Not financial advice. If you're just joining us, not financial advice, not tax advice, not investment advice, not legal advice. We're just being hypothetical here, right? So if I'm looking at this, I'm looking at it and going, okay, great. Do I think Bitcoin could hit 200K in this cycle? Do I think we're going to see it in 2025? I personally, for my own decisions, I'm like, no, I don't think we're going to hit 200,000 in 2025. Could it happen in 2026? It could, right? Do I think 180 is real? Yeah. So even 180 is a double from here, almost a double. So if Bitcoin does a double, MSTR, that's how we're looking at how MSTR could break the $1,000 range and beyond. All right. And then when you look at MSTU, which does 2x what MSTR does, then you're floating in other universes, because MSTU, which is the 2x version of MSTR. So if you have Bitcoin, and then you have MSTR, which is 2x Bitcoin, and then you have MSTU, which is 4x typically Bitcoin. Now, over time, if you see like MSTU, which is a 2x leverage of MicroStrategy, so if you see MSTU erode over time, maybe if MSTR does 2x Bitcoin, maybe MSTU does 3.5x. And that's how I think about the modeling of it. All right. So that's kind of my idea on this. Hope it helps. So in summary of what we talked about today, 3 things. Number 1, there's a new sheriff in town. Not the main sheriff, kind of like an assistant sheriff, but this new company 21 is coming in with Cantor Fitzgerald, coming in with Jack Mallers, coming in with SoftBank, coming in with Bitfinex, whole bunch of players getting together. They're creating a new Bitcoin adoption strategy, corporate adoption strategy, and they're going to adopt 42,000 Bitcoin from the get-go. All right? Boom, right in 42,000 Bitcoin. So this will be another corporate adoption. It'll be the 3rd largest in corporate history. You'll have Strategy, Tesla, and then this new company 21. All right? The news got announced today. They have not funded the 42,000 yet. When that happens, it happens, and they will be a giant in the game. Trump's connections, Trump's inner circle. I think it's good news, right? That's number 1. Okay, number 2, we know they're following the strategy playbook. This is really good for strategy. This is really good for strategy getting even more notice on Wall Street. And what is this also really good for when you think about it? We're looking at products that strategies coming out with, such as Strike and Strife, which are more conservative products that you're going to have institutions investing in, and you're also going to have different types of pension funds investing in. Insurance companies, pension funds, institutions. These new products in the marketplace are big because we're going to see the fixed income marketplace start moving more and more into strategies, other products. And we know that there's $300 trillion, I think, floating around in the fixed income marketplace. So if we just get a percentage of that flow that goes into these fixed products that strategy has, we're talking about strategy continue to pick more and more up of pension funds, insurance companies, and other institutions that want to invest in the company's products. So we know strategy is not, it's not just a Bitcoin company per se anymore, where it just owns Bitcoin. It is a company that's offering up products in the marketplace like Strike, like Strife. And of course, we know it's traditional play of issuing shares and issuing debt to obviously get Bitcoin for its treasury, but it's got new products. So this is big in the marketplace. So as we see more and more a corporate adoption like this new company 21 coming out, this is huge news for strategy because more and more of companies that are looking to get higher fixed income returns are going to put more money into companies like Strategy's products of Strife and Strike. So this is big, right? It creates more stability in the marketplace. It creates more corporate adoption. Wall Street takes notice. Bigger institutional bigger institutional money takes notice. Pension fund money takes notice. Insurance insurance companies take notice, and we start having more and more flows going into companies like Strategy. So it's going to go more mainstream. The company's going to go up more, is my point of view, not financial advice. And we got a big play coming in the marketplace. So that's the second thing. And then the third thing is, in summary, is just looking at in correlation, how does Strategy move to Bitcoin? And Strategy typically moves at a 2x to Bitcoin. So whatever you think Bitcoin is going to go to in this cycle, you have to come up with your own models. But whatever you think it's going to go to, it's likely, from my point of view, that Strategy could potentially, theoretically, do a 2x to Bitcoin. And in past cycles in 2024, Strategy was doing more than a 2x to Bitcoin. And what you did see is when Bitcoin ran up heavily, Strategy went on a freaking tear in 2024. And if you were around to watch that, you witnessed it happen, which is why it ran up to 540. Now, mind you, Bitcoin was only at 109,000, and Strategy ran all the way up to 540. So when you look at the comparative data, Bitcoin's at 93,000. It's about 20% off its all-time high, a little bit less. So it's only like 18% right now off its all-time high. Strategy, on the other hand, is at 350, and Strategy is about more than 50% off its all-time high. Okay, 50%. So Bitcoin's about 18% off its all-time high. Strategy is about 50% off its all-time high. That's almost a 3x difference, you see? Everybody tracking this? It's a big difference, big difference. So we can see moves that go like and blast off, and that would be exciting. So at the end of the day, I hope this serves you guys. None of this is financial advice or tax advice or legal advice. It's just theory. But I think we got a pretty good handle of what's going on based on what we've seen in the past. And who the heck knows what's going to happen in the future or when it's going to take off? You just never know. Remember 3 weeks ago, we were suffering. Right? Like, oh my God, what's happening? You know, there was talks about Bitcoin dropping down to $50,000. All right. But if you look at the fundamentals, if no matter what happens, if you continue to pay attention to the foundation that's being laid, there's so much bullish news for the future for Bitcoin and so much bullish news, including today's news for Strategy. I don't think you can help but be bullish if you know what's going on. And that's the purpose of us being here, to talk about it. All right. So I hope this helps you guys. It's always fun to be here with you. Remy saying 2.5 NAV when it converts stock. Yep. Totally got you on that. 21, David says, the solidified strategies plan as a must do. Yep. It's just cool. So we got some cool stuff going on. MSTR wins, says Remy. So good. So it's good things happening in the marketplace. If you want to pick up the faster news on what I'm doing here, every day in a couple weeks, I'm releasing a new platform called MGame. The link is down below. And basically, you will get updates about 3 to 4 times a day. An AI version of me will come talk to you about strategy, what's happening with it. We'll come talk to you about Bitcoin and some other picks that I have. It's not financial advice. It's just giving you education and theory of what's happening in the marketplace, but it gives it in 60-second and 90-second updates. So if you miss what's going on in the morning, you get the update in the morning. In the afternoon, you get the morning, and in the evening, in the afternoon, you get the news, and in the evening, you get the news as well. So if you want to go grab that, you can get what's happening in the market in 2 minutes, and it can come straight to your phone, and it'll be fun. And I'm creating a whole social platform around it, so it can become a game, hence MGame, money game. And if you want to get on the early access list, you can just get on the access list now. All you got to do is enter your name and email list. And I think it'll be fun. So I'm excited about it. We've been developing it for a little while. It's going to be really cool. And the platform's pretty cool. Let me see if I have a picture of the platform here. I think I have a picture of the platform. Let me see. Yeah, here's a picture of the platform. So there's a version of, you have the platform here. This video is loading here. Pop this open. So you have different videos that, hey guys, Ted McGrath on a daily basis, and that's my AI on the screen right there. But we have, I have a tool that's pulling in data from all the different news channels, from all the different articles that are out there, from everything that's happening in the news today. And then we're gathering the information and curating the information, and we're bringing it to you in 90-second updates. So you'll see a version of me like this. Looks like me. It's not me. It's my AI that will pop up and give you the latest on strategy, the latest on Bitcoin, and the latest on other picks. All right. So again, just for game purposes, it's not advice for anybody to invest anything, because it's not investment advice, but it's just theory, education, fun facts, future outlooks, and things like that. All right. Hope it serves you guys. The link is down below. And then if you enjoyed this, when I end this show today here, and today we're kind of sounds like me, right? It's my AI. So, so down below, you can subscribe to the channel as well. Like it. When I get off the show today, if you would like and subscribe after and leave comments after, that would be great, especially the comments, because when you post comments here, they don't show up below the video because I'm streaming on different platforms. So I'm going to end now. As always, it's great to be here with you guys. Hope it served you today, and I'll see you on the next show.